Hello Internet, so nice to see you. I've been receiving a lot more of your questions, so here we go.
Thanks. So when you enter the bend and snap the pick across the strings, are you just muting the other strings open or are you muting a chord? Are there certain chords that you prefer to help facilitate the bend over others?
Okay, this is called a rake, okay? And it's much easier to do than you think, okay? I don't need to hold a chord. The only thing I'm doing is that I'm muting all the lower string of my guitar with my right hand. You can mute it with your palm, you can mute it with your thumb, or with any part of your hand. And then I'm muting all the strings that are lower than the string I want to play. So if I want to play the third string, okay, I'm muting string 4, 5, and 6 with my right hand. Then when I play, I rake, I move through those strings which are muted, and they make this kind of noise. Okay, I don't need to put any chord, and I could use only the right hand, okay, to make this kind of noise, which sounds horrible when I'm doing this way, because the thing is that you have to finish on the note you want. Okay, okay, and then it makes sense. So this noise feels like the beginning of the note. Okay, but I'm not holding any chord. I don't really care what is the pitch of the other strings because they just make noise. They are just there to make noise. Okay, when you do this with a distortion and maybe with a little bit of feedback in the amp, which I'm not gonna be able to do in this little studio, okay? But if you have a lot of feedback from the amp, this thing actually explodes and gives a nice sound. And if you want an example, listen to any solo by Brian May of Queen. I got the technique from him, not personally him, I've seen him do it, and I copied it from him. He gets even more out of that because he uses a sixpence, a silver sixpence, as a pixel coin, and this coin has a rough border, and he actually scratches with this border through all the strings to create even more noise before picking that note. So you guys want to experiment with that, but again, the technique is really simple. You just use your right hand to mute those low string and just rake your pick across them, and then you hit the note. The difficult part is to make sure that only the note you want to play rings out at the end. So at the end, only that note has to ring out, and not this, okay? This will be wrong.
Great lesson. Wish I had more time to practice. I put a lot of hours on the job.
Okay, so here's a word of encouragement for everybody. It doesn't matter if you have only 5 minutes a day, use those 5 minutes to practice. What is really important is not just how much time you have every day. The important thing is that you are consistent into practicing. You can do more in 5 minutes per day than spending 2 hours or 3 hours on a Sunday and then nothing else, okay? And I know it's hard to believe, but we always underestimate how far we can go with a little time if we put in the time every day. So touch your instrument every day. Play something, even if it's just 2 chords. Even if you're just playing 2 chords, just play something every day, okay? Keep practicing, never stop, never quit, never get discouraged. If you get discouraged, come here. Somebody will give you some more encouragement in the comment, okay? But never quit. You can go real far with just a short amount of time every day.
Good guitar players. Learning scales doesn't matter. Beautiful people, appearance doesn't matter. Rich people, money doesn't matter. Tommaso, everything is matter. Therefore, everything matters. Wisdom. The Pasta Guitar Sage has spoken.
The Pasta Guitar Sage approves of this message.
When you love doing something, you don't realize that you're learning. You're having fun. So a lot later, when you're asked about learning, you're completely honest when you say, you never did so. Which of course doesn't mean you didn't. Along those lines, mathematicians aren't people who find math easy. They're people who enjoy how hard it is. Matt Parker, Humble Pie.
The best players I know are the people who like playing guitar and the people who like practicing guitar and they enjoy the challenge. And that's something that everybody can learn, okay? Because we need to let go of this idea that if we play something once on the guitar and we fail, then we suck. Okay, that's an idea that we should let go of. Nobody is good at playing guitar when they start. Nobody is good at playing something the first time they play it. Nobody is good at creating music the first time they try to create music. Okay, all of this is learned. Okay, all of this is learned, and everybody can learn it. Okay, the question is never if you are talented enough. The question is never if you are intelligent enough. The question is never if you have enough dexterity in your fingers. The question is if. Are you going to enjoy the challenge and so you're going to stick to it, or are you going to quit? Okay? And the thing is this, the challenge is actually fun. Okay? There are things I cannot play, like everybody. Okay? Nobody can play everything. And there are things I've been trying to play for the longest time and I keep failing, but I still enjoy the challenge. Okay? Because on some stuff, I'm getting better. And on some other stuff, it's still a challenge. Okay? And so I will never stop practicing. I will never stop studying because I enjoy that part of playing the instrument. I enjoy this part, okay? I enjoy learning. And learning is sometimes banging your head on a wall and then banging it again until the wall comes down, okay? It's just what it is. If you learn to enjoy it, if you take it as something you do to become better yourself, okay, then you become unstoppable. If instead, the first time you try and fail, you start feeling bad about that, then you're never going to get better, okay? And I'm not here to judge you, okay? Someday I would like to throw the guitar at the wall. I don't because I like this guitar. But someday, some days you want to smash the guitar onto something because you're frustrated and you're struggling. But you see, struggling is okay. Struggling is how you get better. So, learn to enjoy the learning. Learn to enjoy the challenge. And you are going to become better and better and better and better. The sky's the limit. Don't limit yourself.
To get your 10,000 hours, i.e. generally agreed rough approximation of time required to achieve expert status, at 2 hours a day it'll take 13.6 years to achieve that. So maybe 1 to 2 hours a day?
Just because 1 followed by 40 is such a nice round number doesn't mean it has any significance here. Because you see, 10,000 hours to master something. What is exactly something? Okay? Does it take 10,000 hours to learn to play a few open string chords? No, it takes way less than that. And playing a few open string chords is practically nearly everything you need to know if you want to start writing songs, and you can become a good songwriter, for instance, in way less than 10,000 hours, okay? Instead, do you want to become an absolute virtuoso of the instrument in maybe more than one style? So you want to become a jazz virtuoso, but also a metal virtuoso, okay? Because you like both styles, say, and you want to completely master both of them in all their different facets and ramifications. This is gonna take way more than 10,000 hours because there's so much to learn. So the first problem is that there's not been given a definition on what are you going to master in 10,000 hours. And if it's your answer is, but a general career or a general mastery of something, this is way too vague for us to give a number like 10,000 hours. It could be 100,000 hours, it could be 1,000 hours, it could be 100 hours. Why am I telling you all that? There is a reason. Because if you start thinking I need to put in 10,000 hours, you're not going anywhere. What you want to do is to practice so that it takes less time, okay? Don't start thinking 10,000 hours is my goal, because in 10,000 hours, if you don't practice right, you can waste those 10,000 hours. And that's why there are two things here. First, exactly what you want to be able to play and exactly what you want to be able to do. Do you want to become super fluent at reading notation and play on the spot? Do you want to improvise? Do you want to compose music? Do you want to do all those things? And second, find somebody who can take you there as fast as possible, okay? With all the possible shortcuts, with all the possible tricks, with the best possible instruction. And by God, pay them, okay? Because that little amount you pay them is going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save you years, okay? Decide what you want to become. Find somebody who can take you there. You want to become expert in music theory. If you want to learn how to improvise all over on all the different scales and modes, you want to learn harmony on guitar, I propose my courses, okay? But the important point is that you decide exactly what you want to become and what you need. Forget about the 10,000 hour. That's a round number put there that has no meaning. And yes, I've read the book. I just disagree with the conclusion. That number has no meaning. The only point of that book is that to become better at something, you need to practice.